Welcome back. I'm so glad to have you along for this edition of Geek Fest Live. We are going to go back to 1977, and there are a lot of bands in this world that I simply didn't get to see them in their prime. There are, like, you can think about the obvious ones, like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles. Some of us have been lucky enough to check out bands like the Rolling Stones, but you never saw them in their prime. And this band that we're going to look at, I've actually seen fragments of that band in other bands. Like, for instance, I saw the drummer, but it was the replacement drummer, with the Misfits back in 2001. But that wasn't really the Misfits. It was some sort of weird combination, and luckily I was able to see the real Misfits later on. But I never was able to see the Misfits, like, in their, like, prime. And the same can be said for this band, except I didn't see this band at all. And I really wish that I had, because while they were very much part of punk, they became part of what I really feel like created part of the soundtrack of the 80s. And you wouldn't have a lot of the songs that we remember from the 80s without this band doing their thing in the 70s. I'm, of course, talking about the Ramones. This is Live at the Rainbow.
After eating that chicken vindaloo, I wanna be Will. Yeah, I wanna be Will. I wanna be Will. I wanna be yeah. I wanna be Will. I wanna be Will.
How many Weezer songs does that sound like? Like, how many the Cars songs does that sound like? Like, they all, like, go right back to the Ramones. It's undeniable.
I wanna be
So I'm going to stop it right there for just a second, because the Ramones are about to just, like, go nuts. And I know that because the next song coming up is Glad to See You Go. And that kind of gets at the two sides of the Ramones. There was this one side of the Ramones that was very, very pop-oriented. And that was kind of represented in the song that we just heard, I Want to Be Well. And that song for me didn't bring a lot more than the record did. It just, I would almost rather hear the record version of it. It's a good song, and I like it, and I thought they played it very well. But when I hear the Ramones, if I went to see the Ramones in concert, I'm not going to go to hear them sing something like I Want to Be Well. It's like, I want to be well. I want to hear them sing something like Glad to See You Go, a song about Dee Dee's ex-girlfriend. who was very abusive, and apparently the last thing he said to her was, you guessed it.
Take good shit on her, one for the little cylinder, and in a moment of passion, get the glory, not the fancy. Gonna smile, I'm gonna laugh, you're gonna get a blood bath. And in a moment of passion, got the glory, not the fancy. Gotta go, 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 move on. Let see you go, 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 move on. Let see you go, 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 move on. Let see you go, 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 move on. I need a miracle. Should they got your title? One bullet into that time. What's my I'm gonna love? You're gonna want my autograph. I need the moment of passion. Get the glory, not just them. You gotta go, 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 Cuba. Go, 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 Cuba. Go, 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 Cuba. Let's see you go, 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 Cuba. Let's see you go, 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 Cuba. Let's see you go, 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 Cuba. Go, 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 Cuba.
Clearly like the peak of this lineup. This is like the last time they actually like play. Well, this is one of the last big shows. This is definitely the one that they caught on film and decided to make a live record out of. This Live at the Rainbow lineup was Joey, Johnny, Dee Dee, and Tommy. And the interesting thing about Tommy was the drummer, and he basically went out and sought his own replacement, which would have been Marky Ramone. Marky Ramone is the person that I saw play with the Misfits in 2001, because he was going to leave the band, and he ended up like managing the band's affairs and like producing albums, and it was one of these weird things. Like normally when you hear somebody leaving a band, they like Jason, you said, they are out, and Marky, not Marky, but Tommy hung around, and that's something that's just unheard of. I think it talks to kind of the dynamic of the band, and you know, it was like they all changed their last names so that they could appear to be part of the same family, which also was a nod to Paul McCartney, who signed into hotels as Paul Ramone. Anyway, the Ramones, everybody you're seeing here, unfortunately, dead. They were amazing. And I'm just going to let them play us out because I have nothing more to say. This is great. I definitely like punk Ramones more than pop Ramones, but I respect it. We don't get the Cars and Weezer without things like I Want to Be Sedated and I Want to Be Well. So let's let Glad to See You Go see us out.
Give up! Give up! Give up! Give up! Give up! I saw walking down the street.
I'll put the link to the whole concert in the comments. See ya.
Standing after all of the fear. And then I knew it was the end of